Finding missing number in an equation, Math 4, Module 6. For our lesson objective, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to determine the missing term in an equation. But before we proceed, ito muna yung mga bagay na dapat ninyong tandaan. So this is just a review. This is supposed to be basic knowledge for you now kasi second quarter tinapik itong mga words na to. Okay, so let's go back. When we say product, this is the answer that you get when multiplying numbers. So let's say nag-multiply ka 2 times 2 equals 4. Yung 4 ang tinatawag nating product. Next, sum. The answer that you get when adding numbers. So kung kanina multiplying, ngayon naman adding. So let's say nag-add ka 2 plus 2 equals 4. Ang tawag doon ay sum. Third, factors. These are the numbers being multiplied. So, yung ginamit natin kaninang 2 times 2. Yun, ang tawag naman doon ay factors. And lastly, addends are the numbers being added. So, yung number na ina-add natin, let's say, 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. So, ang tawag natin doon sa mga numbers na yun ay addends. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung mga properties of equation? Okay, take note that the properties of operations help us find the missing numbers in an equation. We can evaluate an equation by performing the operations in each expression. So, isa-isahin natin ano-ano ba yung mga properties of operations na yan. Alamin muna natin ano ba yung equation. An equation is a mathematical sentence that states the equality of expressions. So, example, ayan, yung example letter A and example letter B. So, ang tawag natin sa dalawang yan ay equations. It states the equality of expression, kaya siya may equal sa gitna. Ibig sabihin, kung ano yung answer dito sa left, dapat yun din ang answer dito sa right. Now, how will you make each equation correct? Try to evaluate each equation. So, mayroon tayong mga missing numbers. So, I'll show you kung paano siya sasagutan to make this equation equal. Okay. In the first example equation, you will use the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Take note of the properties of equation, yung mga babanggitin ko. So, number 1, itong distributive property of multiplication over addition. Ano ba tong property na to? The product of a number is equal to the sum of the products of that number and each of the addends. So, let me give you an example. Ayan. So, ito yung example natin kanina. 10 times 2 plus 10 times 5 equals blank times blank plus 5. So, tingnan yung maigi yung itsura or paano ginawa yung distributive property. Okay? So, ngayon, paano natin malalaman kung ano yung missing numbers? Ang mga missing numbers, makikita nyo rin dito sa side na to. So, we have 10 times 2 plus 10 times 5. Diba? So, meron na tayo ng 5. Ano yung missing? 10 and 2. Ngayon, ang problema na lang kung saan natin ilalagay yung numbers. So, dito yung 10. Bakit dyan? Kasi dinoble din siya eh. And then, 2 plus 5. Okay? So, yan ang distributive property. Pwede ring baliktad. Pwede rin ang nakalagay ay 10 times 2 plus 5 and then ito ang nasa kabila. Same lang yon. Okay, next. So, tingnan natin kung equal siya. Sagutan natin. So, kapag nakakita kayo ng ganitong equation, yung may parenthesis, ayan. Ayan, yung may ganyan. Yan yung uunahin nating isosolve. Okay? So, mag-start tayo sa 10 times 2, which is 20, plus 10 times 5 equals 50. Equals 10 times 2 plus 5. Kasi gaya ng sabi ko kanina, uunahin nating isolve yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, 7. Now, let's add. 20 plus 50 equals 70. And 10 times 7 is equal to 70. So, yan yung ibig sabihin na the product of a number is equal to the sum. So, ito yung mga products niya at ito naman yung sum. Ayan. So, dapat equal siya. So, ang product ng 10 and 7 is 70 at ang sum ng 20 and 5 ay 70 din. In the second example equation, you will use the commutative property of addition. So, dito naman, commutative property of addition. Yan. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng commutative property and associative property of addition? The grouping of the addends does not change the sum. So, sabi dyan, kapag commutative and associative property of addition, yung grouping daw or yung ayos ng addends, balikan natin, kanina sabi ko yung addends, ito yung mga numbers na ina-add natin. So kahit ano daw yung pagkakaayos niyan or pagkakagrupo niyan, hindi magbabago yung result. Example, so ito yung example natin kanina. 40 plus 5 plus blank plus 15 equals blank plus 15 plus 40 plus 30. So dito, ang tawag dito ay associative property kasi ginamitan siya ng parenthesis, nakagroup siya. Okay, so associative property yan of addition. So, paano natin malalaman yung missing number? Simple lang. Tingnan nyo yung sets of numbers. Anong number pa ba yung nawawala? So, let's say dito sa group na to, meron tayong 40, 5, and 15. So, meron tayo ditong 40, 15. So, ano yung meron dito na dapat nandito? Okay, dapat 30. And then, dito naman sa kabila, ano dapat ang number na nakalagay dito na meron dito sa left side? Number 5. Okay? So, sabi dyan, the grouping does not change the sum. So, tingnan nyo yung pagkakaayos. 40 plus 50, 30 plus 15. Dito, naging baliktad. Naging 5 plus 15 at naging 40 plus 30. So, pinagbali-baliktad yung grouping ng addends. Dapat daw hindi magbabago yung sum kahit anong ayos pa yan. Kahit bali-balikta rin pa ng group yan. So, let's try to solve. So, 40 plus 5 is 45. Plus 30 plus 15 is also 45. Next side, we have 5 plus 15 equals 20. Plus 40 plus 30 equals 70. Next, let's add this to 45 plus 45 equals 90. And 20 plus 70 is also 90. So, C, equal yung answer nila. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng commutative and associative property of addition. Kahit bali-baliktarin mo yung groupings, hindi magbabago yung sum. Okay, next. Associative property of multiplication. So, kung kanina, yung sa associative and commutative property of addition, hindi magbabago yung sum, dito naman, the grouping of the factors does not change the product. So, same nung ginawa natin kanina. Kahit ano daw yung groupings or yung arrangement ng factors or numbers being multiplied, same pa rin dapat yung answer or yung product. Example, so we have 8 times 5 times 4 equals blank times 5 times blank. So, meron na tayong 5. Dito ay 8 and then dito ay 4. So, tingnan nyo yung groupings. Kanina, ang nakagroup dito sa left side ay 8 times 5. And then, pagdating dito sa right side, nagbago yung grouping, naging 5 times 4 na. Okay, so sabi dyan, dapat daw hindi magbabago yung product. So, let us solve. So, we have 8 times 5 equals 40. And then, copy yung 4. Next, copy yung 8. And then, 5. 5 times 4 equals 20. Then, let's multiply. 40 times 4 equals 160. And then, yan. 8 times 20 is also 160. So, see, they have equal answers. So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng associative property. The grouping of factors does not change the product. Then, para hindi kayo malito, tatandaan nyo kapag associative, ito yung may grouping. May parenthesis. Okay? Kahit sa addition, same lang. Associative property of addition and associative property of multiplication, may makikita kayong ganito. Ayan, nakagroup yung 2 or 3 or 4 na numbers. Ayan. So here, we use the associative property of multiplication, which allows you to multiply numbers regardless of how they are grouped and get the same product. So yan yung sinasabi ko kanina na kahit alin dyan ang i-group mo, kagaya dito, 8 and 5 yung nakagroup, dito naman naging 5 and 4, same pa rin ang nakukuhang product. Okay, next. Ayan. So, kanina, multiplication. Ngayon naman, addition. So, we have 32 plus blank plus 8 equals 32 plus blank plus 59. So, dito muna tayo. Anong number ba yung nandito na hindi kasama rito? Okay, number 59. And then, dito naman sa side na to, anong number yung missing na nandito sa group na to? Okay, we have number 8. So, pansinin nyo yung arrangement ng addends. Pinagbali-baliktad. Pero dapat dyan, equal pa rin yung answer. Dapat hindi magbabago yung sum. So, let's add. So, 32 plus 59 plus 8 equals 99. And 32 plus 8 plus 59 is also 99. So, the property na ginamit dito ay commutative property, which states that the order in which the numbers are added does not affect the sum. So, kanina, sabi ko, kapag may nakita kayong parenthesis, yung ganon, associative property yun. Kahit addition or multiplication. So, dito, since wala tayong nakikitang parenthesis, binalibaliktad lang yung numbers, kahit addition or multiplication yan, ang tawag dyan ay commutative property. Okay? So, yun lang yung dapat yung tandaan para hindi kayo malilito sa property na ginamit sa equation. Okay, next, more examples. So, paano naman kapag problem solving? So, example number 1. Filipinos are known for being resilient. That is why, even if many people lost their jobs during this pandemic, many have found ways to earn a living for their families to survive. Francisco's family thought of raising chickens as their source of income. So they gathered 48 big bamboos and 28 small bamboos for their poultry house. How many bamboos did they gather? Show the addition sentence in 2 ways. Okay? So, let's see. Ayan. So, for question number 1, how many big bamboos did they gather and how many small bamboos? Ayan. So, the answer is they gathered 48 big bamboos and 28 small bamboos. For question number 2, what is the number sentence? So, show the addition sentence daw in 2 ways. So, paano ba yon? Ito yung first way that we can do this. Okay? So, 48 plus 28 equals 76. Ano pa yung isa pang way? We have 28 plus 48 equals 76. And they still got the same answer. So, does the sum change? No, because based from the commutative property of addition, changing the order of the addends does not change the sum. So, ang ginamit natin dito is commutative property. Bakit? Kasi hindi siya nakagroup. Okay, binaliktad lang yung numbers pero walang groupings na nangyari. Next. For example number 2. Barangay Katipunan distributed face masks in 3 different puroks, namely Magalang, Masigasig, and Matapang. If the first 2 puroks received 9 and 8 boxes of face masks, respectively, how many boxes of face masks will Purok Matapang gets if the total number of boxes of face masks is 45? Write the number sentence in 2 ways and solve it. So, for question number 1, how many boxes of face masks did Purok Magalang receive and how about Purok Masigasig? So, based on the problem above, Purok Magalang received 9 boxes of face masks while Purok Masigasig received 8 boxes. Number sentence. So, ito na yon yung sabi dyan, write the number sentence in 2 ways and solve it. So, sabi dyan, since kay Purok Magalang ay 9 at kay Purok Masigasig ay 8, ilan ang nakuha ni Purok Matapang kung merong 45 lahat? Okay, so first number sentence is this one. So, 9 plus 8 plus 28 equals 45. So, saan galing yung 28? So, ang ginawa natin is we added 9 plus 8, which is 17. And then, subtract natin sa 45, yung natira, yun yung nakuha ni Purok Matapang. So, ito yung first number sentence natin. How about the second number sentence? We have 9 plus 8 plus 28 equals 45. Pansinin ninyo yung groupings. So, dito sa first number sentence, ang nakagroup ay 8 plus 28. And then, sa second number sentence, ang nakagroup naman ay yung 9 plus 8. Pero, same pa rin yung answer. And the property used for this number sentence is associative property of addition. Bakit associative? Kasi ginamitan na siya nito, ng ganito, ng groupings. Okay? And then, binali-baliktad yung pagkakagroup ng numbers. So, does the sum change? No, because based on the associative property of addition, changing the grouping of the addends does not change the sum. Next, for example number 3, Renee earns 120 pesos per day by working every morning as a dishwasher at Linda's Cafe and 250 pesos a day by working every afternoon as a cook at Gloria's Diner. If he works for 5 days in a week in both places, how much is his earning in a week? So, nagtatrabaho siya tuwing umaga as dishwasher sa Linda's Cafe at ang sweldo niya tuwing araw-araw ay 120 pesos. Pagdating naman ng tanghali, galing kay Linda's Cafe, pupunta naman siya kay Gloria's Diner. Okay? At ang sinasweldo niya doon ay 250 pesos. So, magkano daw, kung magtatrabaho siya ng 5 days dun sa dalawang yon, magkano yung kikitain niya sa isang linggo? Okay, so for first question, what are the jobs of Renee? So he works as a dishwasher and cook. How much does he earn as a dishwasher and as a cook? So as a dishwasher, he earns 120 pesos per day and 250 pesos per day as a cook. How many days does he work in a week? So, ilang araw daw? He works for 5 days. And what is the number sentence? So, this is our first number sentence. We have 5 times 120 plus 5 times 250 equals 1,850. So, saan natin nakuha itong 5? Ito yun. Minultiply sa 120, and then another 5, minultiply sa 250. So, ito yung first number sentence. Take note of the grouping of the equation. Next, pwede rin namang isulat siya ng ganito. 5 times 120 plus 250 is equals 1,850. So, tingnan nyo yung groupings. From this one, which is naka-group siya isa-isa, to this one, na pinagsama na lang yung 120 and 250 kasi same lang naman siyang minultiply sa 5. So, ang property na ginamit dyan ay Distributive Property of Multiplication over Addition. So, paano natin malalaman kapag distributive? So, pansinin nyo yung arrangement ng numbers. Dito sa second equation, yung 120 and 250 pinagsama na lang sa isang group and then pareho silang minultiply sa 5. Pagdating dito sa first equation, pinaghiwalay sila. Parehong minultiply sa 5, yung 120 at 250. So, pinaghiwalay. Parang dinistribute. Okay, so from the word itself, distributive property. Okay, let's now go to activities. So, find the missing numbers that would make the equation correct. Then, identify the properties of operation involved. So, for number 1, we have 12 plus 24 plus 34 equals 34 plus 12 plus blank. So, ano ba yung missing number dito na nandito? So, we have 34 and we have 12 and the missing number is 24. Okay, and the property used is commutative property of addition. So, bakit addition? Kasi nag-add tayo. At bakit commutative property? Kasi although binalibaliktad yung numbers, hindi naman siya ginamitan ng groupings. Wala siyang ganito. Okay, next, number 2. We have 2 times 15 plus 20 equals blank times 15 plus 2 times blank. Okay, so dito sa part na to, meron na tayong 15. Ano kaya yung number na nawawala? May 15 na at may number 2 na. So, anong numbers na lang yung kailangan dito? Okay, so we have number 2 and number 20. So, yung 15 and 20 pinaghiwalay. Parehong minultiply sa 2 ng magkahiwalay. At ang property na ginamit ay distributive property of multiplication over addition. Bakit distributive? Kasi dinistribute natin yung 15 and 20. Next, number 3, we have 8 times 7 equals blank times 8. So, may 8 na tayo. Anong number na lang ang kulang dito? Number 7. And the property used is commutative property of multiplication. So, dito kanina of addition, kasi addition yan. Dito sa number 3 of multiplication, kasi nag-multiply. And commutative siya kasi hindi naman siya ginroup. Hindi siya kinamitan ng ganyan. Binaliktad lang yung number. Next, number 4. So, we have 24 plus blank equals 5 plus blank. Okay, so katulad doon ng number 3. Ang pinagkaiba lang, dito ay multiplication. Dito ang ginamit ay addition. So, kung meron tayong 24 at dito naman ay 5, so ibig sabihin, dito ay 5 at dito ay 24. So, pinagbaliktad lang din. At ang tawag sa property na yan ay commutative property of addition. Ayan, kasi ang ginamit natin na operation ay addition. Next, lastly, for number 5, we have blank times 5 times 4 equals 8 times blank times 4. So, let us look at the numbers. So, dito sa left side, meron tayong 5 and 4. Dito naman, merong 4 and 8. So, anong number dapat ang ilagay natin dito na meron dito? Okay, dapat number 8. And dito sa kabila ay number 5. Okay? So, tingnan nyo yung arrangement. So, from here, ang nakagroup ay 8 times 5. And then, here naman, ang nakagroup ay 5 times 4 na. So, nagbago yung groupings, pero yung arrangement ng numbers hindi. At dahil nagbago yung groupings niya, ang property na ginamit dyan ay associative property of multiplication. Okay? So, lagi nating i-indicate kung ano yung ginamit na operation. So, dito ang ginamit niya ay multiplication. Okay?